going to feel a little more humid compared to what we've had over the last couple of days. As a matter of fact, it's going to feel a little more humid compared to what we've dealt with across the Tennessee Valley over about the last week and a half. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s. A couple of isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible this afternoon across the Tennessee Valley, with some isolated to widely scattered showers. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
He's bald, he's opinionated, and he's here.
You're morally reprehensible, vulgar, insensitive, selfish, stupid. You have no taste, a lousy sense of humor, and you smell.
Listen to Feinbaum, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Who wants coffee? Anybody wants coffee?
Tom, can you get me off the hook? Roll type C.
The tire's tired.
He ain't good looking, but he sure ain't shy. He's a northern bred, southern fed, slick talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today.
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
It must be Wednesday. I called it hump day.
Oh, guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Huh? Anybody? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Let's guess what today is.
It's hump day.
Hump day!
What a wild last 15 minutes it has been here for the Thom Abraham Show. We didn't think we just open the mic and crack this thing and start doing verbal diarrhea. That's not the way this works. There's a lot of planning that goes into this radio show. There's a lot of information. Look at all of that stuff. You look at those of you that are watching on the Twitch and the Facebook and the Twitter. Look at all that crap on that sheet right there. There's a lot of stuff that happens. There's multiple sheets. There's a guide that goes, look at that thing, right? There's a guide there and everything else that has a day-by-day information on there as well. And 15 minutes ago, I mean, I got so much stuff I can do on the show today. 15 minutes ago, I had one guest. I don't like having more than two. I had one guest. I was out to a number of guys this morning, and I had one guest lined up, and I was like, okay, no, that's okay, because I got a lot to bump my gums about. I got a lot of stuff that I needed to, kind of purge from the list today. There's a lot going on. And then all of a sudden, in the last 15 minutes, boom, boom, two of our prospective guests bounced in and like, oh, yeah, no, I want to be on a show. All of a sudden, it became a busy show. Now, the phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. But you may just want to kick back, relax, and enjoy this one. You want to jump in, I'll take your phone call. Maybe, if I can. Otherwise, text the show, 732-9TA show. 732-982-7469. It's a great way to communicate with me. You put it out there, I read it, I put it on the air, we talk about it. 732-982-7469. You text the text line. Shane, text the text. Stop calling the text line. Shane in Decatur kept calling the text line yesterday. You want to call the show, 256-576-4977. That's the same for all of our shows. But this show, this very show, for the last 14 years now, has had a text line in multiple markets. And it's 7329TA show. So go ahead. You can send me a text. I read them on the air. It's that easy. Now, my Twitter feed, my personal Twitter feed, is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN, where they probably have posted the show on video right now, where you can go and check that out. It's also on the Twitch and on the Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. All right, so we've got that for you. Why am I reading this off of my computer? Why am I not looking at my sheets? I'm yelling at myself. I get a little aggressive sometimes. Sometimes I get a little bit aggressive. I don't know, if you notice that. If you're going to be associated to this show or anything I'm doing, you can't be a flower. You can't be a wilting flower. You have to have a little bit of backbone. Get the app. I'm ordering you. Get the app. We got links there for Zone 2, Zone 3. All our alternate streaming great stuff as well. Thursday night, Huntsville High will host Albertville with Austin Coletti and Drew Harmon on the air and on our primary stream after the Nick Saban show. But if you got the app and you listen on Zone 2, you hear the game right from the beginning. On Friday, Madison Academy has a huge region game at home against 6-0 Randolph. Steve Moulton and Glenn Laird will have that one on air and on our primary stream. Now, coming up in a few minutes, David Amendolara of CBS Sports Radio will join us on a number of topics. I haven't talked to DA in a while. Beginning with the explosive new book that's coming out about the New England Patriots, written by ESPN senior writer Seth Wickersham. DA worked in Boston for a number of years during the dynasty. This book is a deep dive into that entire period of time and how the relationship between Bill Belichick and Tom Brady crumbled. Cannot believe they did not get this book out before the game Sunday night. But they got key excerpts out. I'm going to share some of those with you. At the top of the 11, we have a Caray's Corner with Josh Caray, voice of the Trash Pandas, big baseball guy. What a week in baseball this week, beginning with the Braves last night.
Wheeler brings it. There's a shot out to left and a base hit. Here comes Darno. Dansby right behind him. McCutcheon will fire to second base. 2 RBI single. 2-0 Atlanta. 3-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Strike 3. Braves win game 1 and the magic number's down to 3.
I like Max Fried, but Charlie Morton's the ace of the staff. Charlie Morton's like Fitty. He's like the ace of the staff right now. He is doing exactly those things. And I know everybody said, well, it doesn't matter. They're going to get in and get whacked. The Giants and the Dodgers are so... You don't know. Morton is a witch, or Max Fried is a witch. They get this great pitching. You don't know. Just got to get in it. They now are 3.5 games up. The magic number, as you heard there, is 3. Now, if they win tonight, the magic number goes to 1. Magic number means the number of wins and or losses that you have and the people that are chasing you. So, in other words, if Phillies were playing somebody else and the Braves won and the Phillies won, the magic number would go down to 2. Every win you get lowers the magic number. Or if you lost, but the Phillies lost, the magic number would drop to 2. If you lost and the Phillies won, then the magic number would stay, at 3. But when you're playing the team that's chasing you, you win, they lose on the same night, obviously, the magic number changes by 2. So it was 5 going in. Now it's 3. It could be 1 after tonight. We'll see. The American League wildcard chase is flat out of control. The Yankees were trailing the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays were a game behind the Red Sox and 2 games behind the Yankees for the final, for the 2 wild card spots in the American League. Middle of the game, 5th inning or so, the Yankees were trailing the Blue Jays in Toronto. And then that dude that I was calling Mike, that I wanted to be fired, that I couldn't stand early in the year, continues to be the hottest player on the planet. Just flat out of control. Going just nuts. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I think you know who I'm talking about.
Scoop to left field. Is it fair? If it's fair, it's gone. It is gone! A 3-run home run for Stanton. He's done it again. And he breaks this one open as the Yankees lead 6-2.
4th straight game. He hit a home run in every game in Boston. and he golfs one out. Looked like a hooded 9-iron. Golfed that thing out. It's great baseball stuff going on there. After Josh, there are a ton of intriguing games in the Big Ten this week, including Friday night, when number 4 Iowa visits Talia Tagovailoa and the Maryland Terrapins at Maryland. You guys remember Talia Tagovailoa, don't you? He tore up high school football. Him and Paul Tyson went together to Alabama. He left when his brother went to Miami. Now you wonder whether or not Talia would be the starting quarterback or Bryce Young would be the starting quarterback at Alabama. Talia is actually grading out as the top performer in the country right now at quarterback. He's grading out by Football Focus as the number 1 quarterback in the country, ahead of Matt Corral, ahead of Bryce Young, ahead of anybody. Kid's been out of control. But because it's Maryland, he's under the radar. Now they get Iowa. They get it on a Friday night. Ryan O'Gara from SaturdayTradition.com will join us to talk some Big Ten football, including can we trust Michigan? What's going on with Ohio State? Is Penn State really a player? Is Mel Tucker the early leader and coach of the year from Little Brother State? We'll touch on all of that with Ryan O'Gara. Arch Manning has an official list now. And the fact that the Tennessee Volunteers are not on the list, to me, is very telling. It has to make you wonder about how Peyton Manning feels about his alma mater. Peyton is way too loyal to say anything negative about Tennessee. But you'd think that Arch would at least be looking at the Vols if Peyton was encouraging him to do so. If Peyton was saying, look, man, I want you to visit, you would think he would be looking at him. It almost feels like, to me, without any inside information on this, that maybe Peyton is guiding his nephew away from the Vols? I mean, who knows? Maybe that old sexual harassment claim that keeps raising its ugly head, no pun intended, every few years from when Peyton was a sophomore and he was getting his thighs rubbed down by, that's why I don't like women in the clubhouse, in the locker room. Young, virile college men that are athletes, and then they have these female trainers. I mean, really? Stop it. Now, I'm not saying anything is okay. I'm just saying, stop that. Or maybe he just doesn't believe in what's going on there. All I know is that Arch Manning visited Georgia during a South Carolina game. The Georgia student section gave him a huge welcome. The students used their body paint. You know how Georgia's famous for body paint. Students used the body paint that says, "We want Arch," with an exclamation point. So they needed 10, 11. They needed 11 kids to line up. "We want Arch." He was impressed by that. Manning will be in attendance at Alabama Saturday afternoon, which gives him a look at both Alabama and Ole Miss, which is also on his list. He'll be at Alabama Saturday. He'll be at Texas on the 16th. He'll be at Ole Miss on the 23rd. He'll be at Clemson on the 30th. And did you catch the not-so-subtle jab that Nick Saban threw? Why was Nick Saban on that Monday night ESPN2 Manning broadcast, right? I mean, think about it. Why Nick Saban? Oh, because Uncle Pete and Uncle Eli were doing that show? Did you hear when Nick Saban tossed out there during that alternate broadcast when he said he thinks it's important for quarterbacks, high school quarterbacks, when they choose a college, to go where they can be surrounded by elite talent? I mean, what a platform for Saban. He goes on the the Peyton Eli show and says, I just think it's important for a quarterback to go someplace where they can be surrounded by elite talent. Arch. Over there in that little glass room, speaking of elite talent, playing the platters that matter in the stacks of wax and answering the phones, keep me on the air, entertaining my wife while I was doing the show last night, chatting her up, working on his game maybe, I don't know. Coach Chris.
Who in the blue hell are you?
What is your name? Detective.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Hey, Grizzlicious, how you doing today?
I was doing just fine, and I was just having a little girl talk with your wife.
Little girl talk.
I'm like Gabe from The Office, Yeah. Girl talk, I'm into it. I'm into girl talk, you know what I mean? There's girl talk going on. I'm down.
Did she give you any dating pointers? Is what I want to know. It's how, because
No, we got like real in depth. It was weird. It was almost like she was like a psychiatrist or something.
Well, she's a little bit of a psychiatrist. She's got a little bit of that going on. She
talked a lot about you. We talked a lot about you.
Don't talk about me. Don't talk about me. Wes looked over at me and he says, "Did you adopt a 10th child?" You were hanging out there drinking beer.
You told me to come out, so I was like, "Well, I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come out right."
She was worried about you. She was like, "I hope Chad will be okay driving home. He's had a few beers."
A few. I only had less than 2.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I think he's a grown ass man.
I've eaten. I didn't take any medication.
I think he was all right.
If I was bad, I know how to Uber. Oh yeah, I watched the Braves. I watched the Braves. Soler get that 2-run shot, and then Gapper, and then I went home and watched the rest of it, and then kind of watched Will Smith as he was about to let him have it back.
Now you get to watch it tonight.
It was on FS1 last night, so it was nice.
Oh, it was on FS1, so you got to watch it last night, and then tonight it's on the ESPN.
Yeah, so it'll be good.
I'll be watch
easy,
it again.
Easy. Yeah, I'll be able to watch it.
She was a little bit upset with me. She chided me. She hung out with me yesterday, so she came by the station during the staff meeting and hung out reading her book during the staff meeting yesterday, and then we were doing some other stuff, and then she went to the remote with me last night, right?
Yeah.
So she chided me. She says that I am unduly harsh. She goes, "I can't believe the way you talk during the staff meeting. You're just so harsh, so nasty." And I was like, no.
We talked a little bit about that too.
I'm like, no, I am not. I'm like, these are grown men here. This is not.
No, we don't need to be coddled.
We don't need to be coddled. I said, you can't lead that way. You're not going to be coddled. I told her, I said, look, the way a coach talks to a team, the way a military, the way the sergeant talks to the. I'm just saying it. I don't think I'm overly. I don't think I'm nasty. Am I nasty? Do I hurt your feelings?
Sometimes.
Oh.
I just bottle it up inside.
Oh, well, don't bottle it up.
Then I go cry. Then I go cry.
Don't cry
in the other office and close the door.
You don't have her phone number. You're not gonna call her after meetings and air it out, girl talk it out.
I'd be like, you're gonna have to chill him out or something.
Oh, come on.
Let him go fishing today.
Get out of here. We're fine.
No. We need it. We need it some days.
The proof is in the pudding. Well, I don't know what the hell. Drew is sliding around the room in his chair, looking at videos of high school kids.
He wasn't passing out.
He went all the way across the room. I'm like, where the hell are you? What are you doing?
Just over there sleeping during the meeting.
I'm like, Drew. He's like, oh, I'm looking at a high school. This is gonna be a topic on our show tomorrow. I said, you have 18 hours before your show tomorrow. Can you give me an hour? Slide your ass back over here. No, it's fine. We're fine. I thought it was fine.
Our meetings are fine. Our meetings are fun.
They are great. Sometimes you like to see. The problem is with you is that you like to have meetings with other people during the meeting, and you know what I mean. Sometimes, and so sometimes
I have meetings in my own head when
you have meetings going on in your head. You know what I mean? Like, so I got to talk to both of you. I got to talk to you and to you in your head.
I'm like Jim Carrey.
I just got to kind of snap you back to reality every once in a while. But we got a lot going on right now, so we don't have time to be all lovey. What are we hug it out now? Is that what we got to
like
do? We got to hug it out?
I'd like a hug every now and then. If I'm the 10th child, then thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Give you a little. I don't hug my own. I don't hug the ones I fathered. I gotta hug you. I haven't hugged one of my kids. I hug my daughters. I haven't hugged one of my sons.
Oh yeah, I forgot about yesterday too.
I haven't hugged a son since they were about 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah,
that's about it. Maybe after a football game, you know what I mean? Give him a little bro hug, with the fist.
She also talked about yesterday that you seem a little bit more excited about these last 2 weddings than you did for your own.
That's not true.
She said that.
I'm happy for me. I was excited.
She said you're all giddy. She's like, you're all giddy and like you're talking about wedding dresses and.
I just want to know how much it's going to cost. Is all I had. I asked her. I said, "How much does a wedding dress cost now?" Because I remember wedding dress used to be like $200, and then they could spend thousands. And my daughter getting married, my last daughter's getting married, she's kind of fancy. You know what I mean? And I'm worried a little bit.
That's Richie Rich right there. That's kind of...
Yeah, it's that's
his
all
problem.
I'm worried about.
That's his problem.
Well, that's the point. And I'm like, well, we got to do something. So she's like, let's buy the wedding dress. Well, the wedding dress might be like a mortgage payment. I mean, I don't know what the wedding dress is. I don't even know. I got to have a conversation with him. I got to see what his expectations are of me. That's what I need to do. I have to find out what his expectations are of me. All right, let me get a break in here. Good. I'm glad she told you all that stuff. When we get back, Damon Amendola will join us. CBS Sports Radio. Speaking of child, he is like a 10th child or an 11th child, I guess. I don't know. He's like one of my kids. But DA is up next from CBS Sports Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford.